Hey everybody, it's the Naderator here, back again with another video. I'm really excited for this one. It is part 3 of my Building a Lego Barn series, the finale, where I show off the completed MOC. And to start out with, I just wanted to give you a 360 view of everything going on here. As we start out, we can see there's a tractor here in the foreground, kind of the John Deere tractor color scheme. As we move around to the side, you can see there's a little tree stump here, and then we come into this grain silo, so a concrete grain silo. I think it turned out pretty well. I like the technique I used there for the circular or cylindrical portion of that. And then at the top you can see there's a specific piece that's used just for the dome. As we continue on, we see that there is a little girl who is coming up to that horse. In the world, you can imagine she's going to feed him that carrot, and then she's got a brush in her hand to brush his mane. And of course she's accompanied by her dog. As we continue towards the back, you can see this tree. I'm really happy with the way that it turned out, and I think I may do a video on different types of trees, so stay tuned for that. But I love the different angles that I have going on there, and we'll go ahead and take a closer look at this once we've completed the 360. Here in the back there's a little wagon wheel, some debris, you know, that you would maybe find around a barn, just some old things that haven't been put away. And then as we continue, you can see there's sort of a commotion going on here. There is an alien, and he is currently abducting a pig. So the rest of the pigs we'll get a closer look at. They're just eating their food, and he is getting abducted. And you can see there's a farmer there who is kind of shocked by that, a little bit surprised about what's going on. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at some of these details. Alright, so to start out, I think we'll just take a little closer look at the barn, since it is showcasing the barn. Here you can see the barn doors are open right now, and the barn doors have that classic red barn door style with the diagonal lines. They are functional, so they do open pretty well, and then the windows up top open as well. We can open those, and they work out pretty nice, I feel like. So above those upper windows we've got a little light to keep the place illuminated when it's dark, when work needs to get done. For the roof, I wanted the roof to have that really classic red barn feel to it, and I think that really turned out well. And I also wanted to have these roosters on top of the roof. I think they're pretty synonymous with red barns, where you have the rooster weather vanes on top, and now a lot of decorative roosters as well. So we have one of those in the front and the back. In the foreground here, again, we have this tractor. It is a custom design. You can tell it's kind of in the John Deere color scheme, and I really like the way that it turned out. If we take a look at it, I will be posting some follow-up videos with this model to kind of go over it a little closer in detail, as well as a tutorial video. But you can see the farmer here, he's just on his way out of the barn with his tractor, and he's got this nice path. Currently it doesn't lead anywhere, but this model will actually go into a larger farm that I am working on, so stay tuned for that. Continuing next to the tractor, now as we back away from the barn a little bit, we'll see a tree stump, and I like the Lego tree stump piece that is used here. I think it looks pretty good, and you can imagine this would be a stump where they have needed to remove that tree, just where it's maybe getting overgrown and growing into the barn or into this concrete grain silo that's next to it. Now as we back up even more and look up, we'll see that there is a concrete grain silo, and I think that this turned out pretty neat. You can see that the domed portion at the top here is actually a single piece, and I think it works out really nicely for the dome of this grain silo, the roof of it. And I also like the technique for making that cylinder portion of the grain silo. It is something that I might showcase in a future video for making curves. I think it turned out really well. Now, as we look at the other side of the grain silo here, you can see there's a ladder that can be used to climb up and access the grain silo there. And on this side of the barn, as I mentioned previously, there's a little girl here. We'll kind of zoom in on her story a little bit. And she, of course, is bringing the carrot to the horse. And you can imagine that's something she enjoys doing. You can see a smile on her face as her dog accompanies her to feed a carrot to the horse as well as to brush it. Another thing that you can see I tried to incorporate into this model is a nice landscape. We've got some flowers as well as some vegetation around the model that I think really helped to make it look more realistic. And as we continue, here is definitely the largest piece of vegetation, and that is this tree. Now I really like the way that this tree turned out. It's got a lot of different angles here. You can see branches coming off at different angles, and even on the top there are a few different styles of branches here. I think that they turned out really well. Also in the tree you can see that there's a little bird, maybe a dove there. As we continue around the tree, we can get a closer look and see that there is someone reading a book under the tree. Maybe somebody who is goofing off from the farm life a little bit and wanted to take a relaxing break and read a book. He's got some tousled hair there. It looks like he's enjoying his time as he reads under the shade of the tree. As we continue around the barn, I really like the way that that wagon wheel looks up against the barn, old and forgotten, and there's a little bit of vegetation growing up around it to kind of signify that. As we move up the barn, I do want to highlight the shape of the barn. I really like the classic angles that I was able to achieve along the ridges of the barn's roof. I think that that turned out really well. As we continue to the other side of the barn here, you can see there is a surprised farmer. And why is he surprised? Well, of course, a UFO is abducting his pig. So we'll get a closer shot of this UFO here. This is something that I've highlighted in a previous video, and I think I'll do a tutorial on this as well soon, so stay tuned for that. But we've got our alien up here. He's a little interested in Earth life, so he has decided to beam up this pig. Poor little pig. Part of an alien science project here. But again, we can see that this guy in the red is pretty shocked. He's got a surprised expression as he looks up at the pig, and you can see he's even dropped his bag of feed. Maybe he had feed for these other pigs. Those other pigs, though, they're not paying much heed. They don't seem to mind that their big brother is being stolen. They are more concerned about the food in their trough, or maybe lack thereof. And we also have this cow here, maybe the family milk cow. That is pretty typical in barns. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed. And if you did like it, go ahead and leave a like and leave a comment. Tell me what your favorite part of this mock is, and maybe some things that I could change. Again, this is going to go into a larger farm mock, so there is some things that I might change around when it comes to that. So go ahead and give me some suggestions. I hope you enjoyed this series of building a Lego barn, from the beginning design to the build process and now to the final model. I know I really loved it. It gave me a chance to work on some different techniques I hadn't tried before, especially with the barn and also with some of the tree design and vegetation. I really love the way that it turned out. I hope you guys like it. Stay tuned for more videos, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.